Hello friends, welcome back to my lockdown diaries. These diaries are my repositories of thoughts and experiences as we go through these testing times of the coronavirus epidemic that is taking a toll across the world and in India particularly. In certain manners, this diary, which started off as an exercise of more very personal in nature, it was meant to be something that was I thought I'll share my own experiences, my own thoughts as we go through these days, which I can sometime sometime in the future refer back to and probably reminisce about these days. I've always thought of these diaries as similar to those Anne Frank diaries that were there during the famous diaries of the Holocaust times. Let me be very specific. I'm not comparing today's troubles to those of Holocaust. It's no way comparable, but yes, in the calamity that we are facing, it's quite similar in nature. We have to, just like Anne Frank had to hide from her German oppressors, the army men, we have to hide in our homes right now against a micro millimeter virus that is not even visible. But these diaries, which started more as personal, are also becoming a kind of a document in its part about talking about the progress of the virus, the progress of what we have done right, what we have done wrong over these past month or so that has been there. So like every time I start with when I start with the topic on India, the epidemic in India, I always start with today's grim scenario is that the grim number of cases, number of cases and deaths in India stands at a certain figure. I think so. Today also India has crossed the record number of additions in terms of coronavirus cases and deaths, and it has kind of become a habit. In fact, if you were to take my previous lockdown diaries and take this line, India has has broken a record in coronavirus cases, it could become a montage of sorts because it has become kind of a habit. So cutting the whole story short, the number of cases in India have touched 50,000 right now, which is quite a remarkable figure with over 1300 deaths that are there. And if you realize one thing, rather than going about the typical variety of which states are doing what and who the number of cases in Maharashtra, Mumbai and elsewhere, rather than going into the nitty-gritties of that, I think so many news sources are doing that much better than I can. Let me talk about something very interesting. In the past couple of diaries I've spoken about examples of states, countries which have done seemingly much better in terms of dealing with this epidemic. So the names that keep coming out over and over again are New Zealand, of course, you have South Korea, you have Singapore, you have Taiwan. These countries, they faced the first brunt of the virus, and then they did certain things much better, and then they were able to they were able to fight off this epidemic in a much better manner comparative to European countries or the American state itself, the US. But there's also another aspect, and that one thing has been done. India is often called, India is not a country, India has often been called a continent. India is a conglomeration of many cultures, many different tastes, different languages, different geographies. We right from the tropical summer temperatures in the south to the hilly climes in north. We have a whole range of everything. Sometimes it almost makes you feel that the wide diversity of cultures and religions, in populations, in demography that we have is so much comparable to the whole. It's more diverse than the whole continent of Europe itself, which is rather plain. So rather than talking about the success stories of abroad, let's delve a bit deeper in our own Indian ethos. India is divided into multiple states, 29 states and many union territories. Let's do a quick run through and let's analyze which states in India have been able to deal with this epidemic in a better fashion, which states haven't been. While the fight on this epidemic has been, the torch bearer for this has been the central government led by Mr. Modi, who has been coming again times and again and talking about the things. But actually on the ground, the states are playing a very determining role in terms of dealing with this epidemic, and that is very much obvious if you look at the kind of the number of cases that are there across parts of India. It's very skewed. If you look at different states, they might be neighboring states, and yet the number of cases would be totally different. They might be similar in demographics, and yet the number of fatality rate is very high. So all this boils down to one aspect. If all this was the responsibility of the federal government, it would have been more or less similar across the Indian. It more or less would have followed a national average, but you don't see that happening. And the credit for this belongs solely to the local governments that are there. The government, led by Chief Minister. There are some leaders who have truly, they have come out very bravely in this epidemic. They have been able to deal with this crisis in much better fashion than lot many others have. And this is like right now a testing time where you will have the differentiation between the husk and the chaff. Right now the whole thing will be differentiated between the people who are able to lead and people who are not able to lead. So let me the first state that I want to wish to really highlight its success is Kerala, God's own country as it's called. It was also the first state it was also the state to have the first case in India of coronavirus. There was a Chinese student which had landed in Kerala in January sometime, and that was the first case in India. But from there on, as the cases have grown, if you see the initial part of the month of March, the cases were very steady in India. We were doing pretty good. Kerala was also getting the number of cases. I remember there was a time close to 3 weeks back when Kerala and Maharashtra had almost around the same cases. I remember talking about it once. How Kerala is doing better. Possibly they have the Mallus are standing in the lines outside the wine shops and all. I joked about it, I remember, and we were very similar. But look at the difference that has happened. Over the past couple of days, starting from May 1st or 2nd onwards, Kerala has been reporting zero number of cases of coronavirus. The total number of cases Kerala has right now is around 500, out of which the active cases are only 30 because 460 of them have recovered. 8 out of their 14 districts have been declared epidemic free, and they have done phenomenal. If you come to if you really compare it to the way, while the numbers has been exploding all across India, Kerala seems to be doing well, and there are lot many reasons to it. Kerala, because of its high literacy rate, has also the measures, the social distancing measures have been taken up much better by the population out there. The people are very much part of the whole fight against this epidemic. The leadership of Pinarayi Vijayan can be lauded for the kind of proactive steps it took. There are a lot of Kerala already has one of the best public health infrastructure, but the government took a very proactive steps in terms of setting up new COVID homes. They were extensively testing, and they were doing all sort of things. They closed down the education institutions much before than anyone else. They have been doing the recovery rates are also one of the best in India. Now compare this to a state like Maharashtra, and I'll be touching upon Maharashtra just before towards the end right now. Maharashtra has close to 14,000 cases, right? And Kerala has 500, and just 3 weeks back we were more or less equal. So that gives you a kind of picture. The total number of deaths in Kerala has been just 4, which is too good. In fact, ICMR, the Indian Council for Medical Research, has lauded the Kerala model. They have been very proactive. They have been doing very contact tracing very stringently. They have been quarantining all the people. The people have been following the social and Kerala is not a small state like Goa and all, which you can always say that, oh, they have a smaller population. Kerala has one of the highest population densities in India. If I am not wrong, it's a third densest density of population states in India. Compare this, Kerala size. Kerala has close to 3.3 crore population. Maharashtra has 11.2. Maharashtra is 3 times the size in terms of population of Kerala, and yet see the comparison from cases number is 500 to 14,000. So you get the scale that is different, and this can be again, this has been. This can be attributed to the leadership, the proactive leadership of the CM out there. Not only has he been doing all these things very nice, he has also been very, proactive in communication. He has been reaching out to people. I remember there were the testing, the contactless testing were first tested out in Kerala. The Chief Minister was handing out all these, ration packages to all these homes much before anyone else was even talking about them. So Kerala has been doing a lot. Now that is a model that we should be really appreciating. While we talk about all across the world, Kerala is one example. Another great example I would recommend is the state of Odisha. Again, southern eastern state of India. Naveen Patnaik, the CM, has been doing some fascinating work in terms of dealing with this epidemic again. So just like Kerala, they were very proactive. They declared it as an epidemic, as an emergency quite before many others. Naveen Patnaik, not only he ramped up his infrastructure, but he also was, he did some very interesting thing. Like for the people who are returning to the state of Odisha, they were ready to give 14,000 rupees cash handouts to everyone who would quarantine them for 14 days. So they were incentivizing quarantine. Another amazing aspect they did is now Odisha is not very how do you say, it's not very urban in that there are a lot of rural villages and all in Odisha. So what they did actually was Naveen Patnaik empowered the Gram Panchayats. He gave them the rights. He gave the sarpanch the stature of a district collector. He gave 5 lakh rupees to each of these panchayats to set up medical camps. In a very short while, he was able to ramp up the whole medical infrastructure. It was completely seamless across thousands of panchayats across the state of Odisha. Not only that, he for pensioners, he again, like in certain manners, like the CM of Kerala, he was very proactive in reaching out to all the population. So he gave 4 months of pensions to all the pensioners. He gave 3 months of salary well before time to all these all the medical practitioners. He was setting up hospitals. He was looking at different. He's been constantly working, and also without much trouble, he has also been dealing with the federal government in many ways to ensure that everything gets done right. So, and what are the number of cases in Kerala? They are just 170 and just 1 death. Now again, Odisha has a very significant, the population of Odisha is bigger than that of Kerala. It's around 4.1 crores. Again, if you compare it to Maharashtra, the number of people are very high, but yet Odisha has been able to do many things. It has been working on different aspects. The one thing common in both Odisha and Kerala is the manner in which they use the existing infrastructure, the Gram Panchayat basically, the way they used all this, the rural network to ensure that the virus didn't spread inside. It was curtailed in the urban centers itself, and they also empowered them to take decision. Panchayats have been they are being called the third pillar of Indian democracy, and they have been there for a long time, but never before has they been so effectively used in combating such an epidemic of this sorts. And while we talk about Kerala and Odisha, these are the shining models when we talk about the way to deal. On the other hand, we have a state like Maharashtra. Unfortunately, Maharashtra has been caught in a terrible grind of sorts. There has been no mechanisms that have been, innovative mechanisms that have come out of Maharashtra. We seem to be completely languishing in a very difficult push and pull between the center and the state. While the state government is, it's caught in its own political upheaval, the center is there, they are not communicating to each other, and you have all these things which are working, and and because of that there has been no very affirmative action that has been taken on this front. Maharashtra has been 14,000 cases every day. The numbers are increasing. We know where the biggest problem is. We know the problem is in Mumbai. 70% of the cases of Maharashtra are in Mumbai, right? In Mumbai, we know where is the cluster which is the most dangerous ones. We have been knowing that ever since. I remember long before the epidemic, we were talking about how Dharavi could be a big danger to everything that we have done. Despite that, the cases have been festering. Now the government there have been talks going about of involving the army and bringing the central forces to. But if that was to be done, why hasn't it been done for a long time? In fact, the cabinet minister in Maharashtra himself he's been termed as a super spreader for spreading the coronavirus amongst his own people and all. So in Maharashtra you see a complete abdication of responsibility in that thing, and that's the reason why we are suffering. And now as we move in the stage 3 and the stage 4 of the lockdown, these differences will become very much apparent. In Kerala, in Odisha, in many other places like that, in Goa, in Northeast, Tripura, Manipur and all, you're going to see life returning back to normal. But in states like Maharashtra, in Gujarat, in West Bengal, you see the enormity only increasing. Now we have another thing where we'll have these migrants moving from one state to another, right? That will only exacerbate that thing. So now forget comparing India to other countries. Now we'll have these interstate comparisons which we'll really get, and this is going to be one of the interesting topics going forth. In India right now, except for couple of states, Goa has been able to do much great in terms of dealing with the epidemic. There are some northeastern states that have also done, Tripura and Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh for that matter. Besides that, if you were to really look at if you want to be safe from the epidemic, I guess there's a small cluster that has been able to safeguard against all these epidemics, and that's an Indian population. They missed the 1918 Spanish flu, they missed every plague, they missed SARS, they missed MERS, they missed everything, and they could be the model for India if you were to examine how to deal with this epidemic. And that is the Sentinelese people in the Bay of Bengal, that small island which has been isolated for centuries and centuries and centuries. They don't let anyone in. If you remember, sometime they are guarded by these 300 or odd tribals who don't let anyone in. They throw spears at even helicopters who try to make any communication with them. Those are the guys who have been the safest in all these epidemics. We should be, they have been the best example of quarantine for that matter, and we should take some lessons from them. We should learn, we should, while we talk about technology, modernity and advancement, these are some of the basic things that we can learn from them. And kudos to all the Sentinelese. I hope we become more like them. On that note of hope, and I just hope, see again, I always say this, I'm from the state of Maharashtra. I'm just hoping that there's some sun that shines through this cloud and we are able to deal with it. My worries have been increasing as each day passes. Like every other resident of this state, I hope that we will be able to overcome these challenges that are thrown at us, and we will be able to be as free as the others, as anyone else in India for that matter. So on that hope and note, I wish to take a leave. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, stay inside, and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye. Bye bye.